through my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of king and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh, Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to THFC Till We Die, home of Tottenham past, present, and the exciting future, of course, under Thomas Frank. And yes, what a day has been for Tottenham. What a day to be a Spurs fan as we get another signing in the door. Yes, Xavi Simons has joined Tottenham Hotspur for 50 million quid plus add-ons. We're going to talk about that, what it means for the club. Where will he play? Will he make his debut tomorrow? I'm not sure because I think he's still got to get his work permit and it hasn't gone through yet. So I would be surprised if he does make any appearances tomorrow. I think he might be brought out to the crowd, and then he'll be back for West Ham. So a very exciting time to be a Spurs fan. Yippee! Signings through the door, and more to come. I think more to come. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I'm being welcome. Big up to John Fitzpatrick. Big up me Irish brother. Hope you're doing well. You and the family down in Limerick. And he says, coys, exactly. John, big night for Irish soccer last night. 2 Irish sides into the Conference League draw. I think it's great for Irish soccer, to be fair. I don't know what you think, John, but I think it's great that we're punching above our weight in Europe, and to get 2 sides into the Conference League draw, absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Really pleased for them, and I'm very proud as Irish soccer starts to make its ground in the European games. Guys, I won't be on long tonight. It's only going to be a half an hour, 20-minute show because I'm on the Manchester United agenda at 9 o'clock. So it's not a usual long one. What tonight we've got a little bit. We're going to go over the Champions League draw, see what you guys think. We're going to talk about Xavi as well. We're going to look at the players we have bought in how we who we bought this summer, and just a little bit of thoughts who we might go after still. I'm still waiting for an update from you guys. So let's crack on with it. And yes, big up to Andy Ing, one with Thrace. He's got quite an intro there. Yeah, big up to Colin as well, who done that for me. So big up to Colin. He is a genius when it comes to all this stuff. Right, let's start with it, guys. Let's start with the breaking news, and I'll take the THFC thing off there. Let me take it off. And it is official. Xavi Simons joins Tottenham Hotspur on a 60 million euro fixed fee from RB Leipzig, 5-year deal plus 2-year option. First pick for Xavi with his brother Fazusha and Ali and Brat from eSports, who broke the deal. Here were Marcelo Brillman after signing the contract. I couldn't believe it when we got this one through, guys. Really couldn't believe it. I went to bed last night thinking, oh, please don't let Chelsea get into it. Don't let Chelsea scupper the deal, but they didn't. And we got it done, which is fair play to the recruitment team, fair play to Tottenham for being very quick on this, by the way. And I think it's great. I think he would bring someone to the midfield. I think he's going to play in that 10 role, personally. And I think he's going to be such a player in there. We need a left winger as well, so I think we will go out and get one. But there he is in the famous lily white shirt. Absolutely brilliant to see him in that. Brilliant. Absolutely great. These are the players that we have bought this summer. Now, we bought Matthias Tail for 30 million. That was a loan, and we opted on that loan. Same with Kevin Danso as well, 21 million. We paid for him in the summer. 55 million for Kudos, a loan for Palunia, 5 million for Taki, and then 60 million for Simons. I mean, get 2 more in. That would be a really good window, by the way. It'd be a really good window. So I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. How do you rate your window at the moment out of 10? Let me know what you think. Also, guys, this one keeps running and running now. We were told that it's probably a non-starter, but this was put in. This is from Pete O'Rourke, has now pointed out on the Spurs web that a deal to take the 21-year-old to Spurs cannot be completely ruled out, as all players have a price. However, it makes it clear that it would require an extraordinary offer to get Savinho out of Etihad, with Man City trying to price him out of a move. When asked if the Brazilian's move to Tottenham Hotspur is falling through, O'Rourke told Football Insider, every player has got a price, but right now Manchester City ain't willing to do business for Savinho. A little thing on this: Savinho's kicking up something chronic about him not getting his move to Tottenham. He wanted to come. I think he liked the project, what was happening at Spurs. He wanted to move to London, but a board member in the Manchester City boardroom blocked the deal. And he says he's not going under any price. I think if this player downs tools and says to Pep, I ain't playing for you, I want this move, and do a sort of an Isaac, then I think Pep's going to say to the board, I want this player out of here at any time, any price. And if Tottenham come in, say for a 75 million plus add-ons, I think Man City might accept that. I think I could see Tottenham going in again before the end of the window. Now, would I prefer Savio or Lookman? For what I've been told, and these are only rumors, by the way. That where was it now? What I've been told, I think there is more of a chance of Rodrigo heading to City and we snatch Savinho. I mean, that could happen. Pep may want Rodrigo at Tottenham, at Manchester City, and then Savinho then will have to leave. We also looking at Akanjai or Aki in the defender positions as well. Paqueta or Lookman for that other attack and role. Now, we're looking the best, for what I've been told, the best deal to Galatasaray is off. So if Tottenham do want to go in and buy Paqueta, I think they might use Basuma as a make-way player plus cash. I think Graham Potter might like to have Basuna in his side. I can see it happening. I can see it happening. But look, we don't know, do we? I mean, big up to Philip. He says Lookman is available. Yeah, Lookman's available. It depends who Thomas Frank wants on his side, and I just feel that Savinho is probably, in my view, a better player than Lookman. But I wouldn't say no to Lookman either. It's about who we can get in over the line. Who can Tottenham get in over the next sort of 3 or 4 days to Monday, 7 o'clock Monday evening, and who we can get in and say, right, there you go, Thomas, there is your signings. But we have to wait and see. But this one is not being ruled out, apparently, so the rumours are going. Also, another few people as well that we might have to look at between now and 7 o'clock Monday. Another midfielder rumour is Gallagher to replace Biss, a potential Forner last-minute striker. So there's all rumours coming around. And also, apparently, Tottenham have sent their first bid in for Manuel Akajai. Personal terms agreed. So we have to keep a look on that as well to see how that deal will go. But I think Tottenham are going to be very, very busy. Very busy. Now, with Savinho, there's another option out there, which I think is the more plausible one. A loan with an option to buy or an obligation to buy for Savinho. Now, Tottenham may come in and say, look, we'll take him on the season-long loan and we'll give you an obligation to buy or whatever. And they may just say, we'll give an obligation of 80 million. And they may discuss the deal as the loan comes to the end. If he does kick up a big enough fuss, then I think he has to go. I think Pep can't keep him around. And Pep doesn't have any sort of tolerance for players that don't want to play, that don't want to be there. He will get rid of them. So, look, I get it. I get it what Philip is saying as well. If we wait too long for Savinho, might run out of time and get no one else. I think Tottenham will look. If it's Paratici, I think he'll have about 3 or 4 plates moving at the same time. I think they will be. I think there will be talks between Tottenham and Man City. I think Tottenham will also be looking at Lookman. They'll also be looking at variable targets. What I was told tonight is Tottenham may take the night off tonight, or they may be not full pelt on it tonight because they just spent all night last night getting the Simons deal done. But I reckon between tomorrow and between now and Monday evening at 7 o'clock, I can see another 2 coming in. And we may be surprised who comes in. I mean, we may be surprised, but I want to ask you guys a question, right? With us getting Simons, with us getting Kudos, with us getting Paulunia, it has been said in a few other Spurs channels, are things changing at Tottenham? The answer to that for me is maybe. Not a yes, not a no, maybe. I tell you why I say maybe is because I feel that under Lang, it was very evident to see that we were struggling to get players over the line. And I think this is why Paratici, who was working as a consultant, has now been brought in for the last 4 days. Or we knew 2 months ago he was back at Spurs, but maybe they were waiting to the end of the window. And then bring him in after that. But I think because of the Eze deal, I think because of what happened in Gibbs White, I think Levy's turned around to Paratici, right, go for it. You get in, you go in the driving seat, get these deals done, get these deals over the line. And I think last night's deal with Simons was more of a Paratici going in there, getting it done. This is how you do it, Lang. I feel, I've always said it, that whatever happens at the end of the window will defy how I feel about our owner. I said it in the video today, and I think I said it earlier on as well in the member show, that I do feel Levy's taking this as far as he can. I do feel we need a new captain to take us to the next level. And I think That's nothing against the Levy. It's nothing against. I just think it's logic that he's taken this as far as he can. He's built a magnificent stadium, but I think you need more than just a good business sense. You need the right football people doing football jobs, and we haven't had that probably for the last couple of years, especially with Lang as the director of football. I just feel last window wasn't good. It wasn't great. Yes, we got Archie Graham, we got Bergville, and yes, they did play very significant roles within the squad last season, and they did come in because of all their injuries. But if you look at the overall picture of Tottenham last transfer window, is that we didn't back the manager, and I don't think we have backed managers over the years. I don't think we've given managers the right players to fit their system. Like, we bought your doggy for a Conte system, but we sacked Conte, or Conte sacked himself after that Southampton game. And I think it's taken between Conte leaving and Thomas Frank coming in for to play the fullback, say for an example, in their proper how they're supposed to play. Your doggy and Porro and Spence are wing backs. And I think once you play them players in the right positions, I do feel that you will get the best out of them. You will get the best out of what these players can go. So looking at it that way, I feel this window has been more of a success than last window. But it hasn't been perfect. There has been mistakes. There have been letdowns. I know people saying, "Oh, Ezzy was never coming to us," but we did have a week on our own when we could have got the Ezzy deal over the line. If we had given Parish the money up front in July, he would be a Tottenham player now. So yes, there is mistakes. I do feel after this window's finished, I think there has to be a root and branch of the recruitment team. I think Paratici has to do that. I think he has to rebuild it again. I think he has to bring back Gabby Adini back into the fold. I think he does. We don't really know if he we all know he was an Arsenal. I'm just saying this to Philip. Maybe that is true. Maybe yeah, he is an Arsenal fan and he came through the ranks and ever. But do you know, if Arsenal never came into him, Philip, if Arsenal never came back in, and so do you think he would have refused Spurs if Arsenal didn't come in for him and Tottenham there was an offer on the table from Spurs, and they were said to Resi, right, there you go. A bit like Simons today, a bit like Simons last night. Now we know Chelsea had to offload a couple of players to get the Simons deal in. But look, it's for me, it's I just don't know. I just don't know. Joining me is the man of voice and reason. He is the Simon Jordan of this channel. Big up to you, Simon Jordan. Hope you're doing well.
How are you doing, guys? First thing I hear when I sign in is Dermot telling me it was a great window. Dermot.
No, what I'm saying was, I said it earlier today. Look, it's been an okay window. I think, look, if you compare this window to the window last year, I think it is a better window of quality of players we brought into the football club. I think it's been one of the best windows we've had in a while because of the quality of players. You look at Palunia, you look at...
It was a loan, short-term loan.
Yeah, we don't know if Tottenham are going to buy him next season. We don't know that. So we'll find out that. I think they will. I just like to see what we can do between now and Monday. If we do get another two in the door and who they would be. I mean, Lookman's an opportunity. We're looking at a defender as well. So, in my question to you, then, Tequila, is Xavi Simmons. He's now a Spurs player. Do you think? Do you think he's going to? Do you think he will energize the Tottenham midfield now with there? Do you think Kulu and Madison will have a tough job getting in because he is a decent player?
I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a world beater. I think he's a good player. He's better than what we've got. As I said to you earlier on, he's better than what we've got. I would have preferred Eze. Not that it matters anymore, but if we're going to say, if we're going to compare the two options we may have had, I can see people in the chat saying Eze never wanted Spurs and stuff like that, Philip. I think there was a good chance of us getting him. We just, if we really would have pounced on it, I think we would have got him, but we didn't. We dillied and dallied, and then we let Palace dilly and dally, and that let Arsenal come back into it. But it doesn't matter, really. I mean, we can talk about it. It doesn't matter. It's over. It's done. It is what it is. I think I would prefer, out of the two, if you would have put them, and I could only choose one of the two, I would have chosen Eze. That doesn't mean I think Simmons is a bad player, not at all. I do think he's a little unproven in this league, and I said it to you before. That is always a concern when you. So that's why I would have preferred Eze. I think talent-wise, there's probably not a massive gap, but Eze is proven, and he's English. And this kid, I mean, he's not a kid, but he's on the younger side still. He's still at the early half of his career, and he's got to go and do it in adapt into this league. Can he do it? Hopefully, but they don't all, do they?
No. I mean, one thing about this Tequila, in a way, it's not a player that's for the future. He's a first team player now, if you know what I mean. It isn't like we've bought. I think that's one good thing about this. He's a player that can go into the first team straight away. I put him in a similar bracket to Kudos, where they are in their stages of their career. They're still on the youngest side, and this is why I said to you, half jokingly but half serious as well, that if Levy wants to cash in on him in a couple of years, he'll still be young enough to get a good fee, because that is how I believe Daniel Levy views players. Yeah, I would get that, and the 5-year deal that what's he now 23 Simmons. Yeah. So
and the 23 is more or less the upper limit of generally the players we sign. Now, I know people are going to say, what about, no, I'm not saying we don't ever sign players over 23, but that is like the sweet spot, isn't it? You hear like, if you play games like, I'm going to talk about video games ever so quickly. If you talk about games like FIFA, games like Football Manager, right? They've always got these chairmen in it, right? Who must buy players under the age of 23 or not. And that's one of their...
I've seen a lot of that, actually, to be fair.
And I believe, if you want to look at it that way, Daniel Levy must buy players generally under the age of 23. And that's generally what we do. There's a couple of exceptions, but that's generally what we do.
Isn't that most clubs in the Premier League, though? In general.
It's business-wise, of course it's smart. I never said that business-wise it doesn't make sense. Of course it does. It's just like sometimes you need to put the needs of the team ahead of that. And, but... I just think for the window overall, I think people, I'll wait to see what happens on Monday, and then we'll know by Tuesday. I'll wait to see in that. Has it repaired the window a bit? Of course it has, just in sheer numbers alone. I don't think it catapults us that much higher up the league. I think it gives us maybe an extra position or two. But
yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, look, with the protest also tomorrow, Tequila, I mean, I was saying earlier about it, right, that, if fans are more fickle, aren't they? If they're led by what we do, what Tottenham do, what we do in the transfer market, especially around the summer market, and with the protests, I think only 20 people turned up for the Burnley one, and then there wasn't a home game after the Eze debacle. So do you know what I mean? That I think if they had a protest after the Eze debacle, I think more people would have turned up. But do you feel tomorrow, with Change for Tottenham doing the protest tomorrow, that a lot of people will see the Simmons deal and think, do you know what? I'm not going to bother going to the protest. Or do you think a lot of fans are going to wait to the end of the window?
I think there won't be as many people if you wouldn't have signed Simmons. I don't believe I don't think Levy cares that much. I'm not being funny. So
No, he doesn't.
if all due respect to change for Tottenham, if they think that they have somehow strong armed Levy into making this signing, I think that's a bit naive.
Mm.
If that, I'm not saying that, I don't know, but if that's what they will claim, and I don't know if they're going to or not, but if they will come out and say, oh, because we decided to protest, or because Levy knew we were going to protest, that strong-armed Levy into doing it. Not at all. We were always in the market. Ever since Maddison got injury, I was totally convinced we'd sign someone. But I said to you the other day, of what quality? Not that we weren't ever going to, because I thought we'd get this guy. I did think we'd get the guy. We probably won't now because we don't need him. But I thought we would panic until the end of the window and most likely get the gentleman from Leicester to fill that role, which would have been underwhelming. But it was an easy transfer to make. That would have been an easy transfer to make. I didn't think we would get Simons. I'm happy to be proven wrong. More than happy to be proven wrong on that.
And it was nice how quickly they did it as well, wasn't it? It was like we went to bed last night. I was getting WhatsApps last night like he's at Tottenham Hotspur away, and I'm thinking, do I go on at 11 or 12 and break this news that we could be getting Simons? I thought, no, Chelsea. And then I was reading Chelsea, like Sport Granient showed they've sold two. I think they were selling one player to abroad, and I think they were waiting for another deal to go through before they went in for Simons. And I think Tottenham went in and said, right, there's the money. We'll give you, there's the money.
I think it was maybe a little bit of the reverse thing that happened with Eze.
Yeah,
I think Chelsea probably had their moment and they were stalling and they were dillying and dallying around. He probably got a bit fed up with it. We came in for him, showed interest in him, and Chelsea are not where they were 5-6 seasons ago, where they were title challengers.
Hell no.
So the gap between us and Chelsea is not like it was 10 years ago, for argument's sake, where they were challenging for the title every season. So the gap's not as big as it was. Are they still a bigger club than us? If in terms bigger, you mean success-wise in the last 20 years? Yes, they are. And when foreign players, I think, look at that a lot more than players from our country do, maybe because they don't live here and stuff like that. So that, they watch it on TV. And he probably thought in his head, this is Simons. I'm just suggesting that maybe he probably thinks Chelsea maybe were a bigger club, but they've fallen on quote unquote harder times ever since Abramovich left. And they're not title challengers anymore. And I don't think they're going to be in the next couple of years either. They're still way behind Liverpool and City, as far as I'm concerned.
I would agree with that. I mean, Chelsea for me are a mess. I mean, you go to Chelsea and you're probably going to go and sit in the bench because they've got so many players, haven't they? There, it's ridiculous.
They've got a very good team, but they're still not. They're still that level behind. They're not the Chelsea of old under Conte or under Mourinho. They're not. They're not that. So,
look, just a quick question. On where was I going to go? On Daniel Levy as a whole. I did a video this morning. I don't know if you've watched it, but I did a sort of 8-9 minute video. I was in a doctor's car park waiting for Mrs. Tron to come out of the doctor's, and I thought, fuck it, I'll do a video. Just put my thoughts on. And I said then that, and I said at the start of this show, that I feel that I agree with Simon Jordan that we need a new captain to take us to the next step, the next level in our evolution of growing. But how do you feel on it? There's been a lot of things said today, and me talked about it earlier, and especially you being Levy out and me sort of being Levy out, but I think there has to be a bit of logic put to it, and I think me have always debated it, and we've always come to the conclusion that I probably do agree with you. I've said it, even at the end of this window, that if we get more few players in that helps Thomas Frank, I still want Levy out. I still want the ownership to change, because I feel over a 25-year period, I think, yes, we have been getting into finals and semi-finals. Yes, we got to 2 European finals within 6 years. Yes, we've won. We were quite successful on the Poch, but he's also made mistakes. Where you want it on this, Tequila? I mean, do you agree with Simon Jordan that we need a new captain to bring us to the next level? He's taken us as far as he can take us.
My stance on Levy is I don't do I don't react in the short term very much. It's why when a player like Richarlison, for example, people
Mm.
probably think, oh well, amazing player. I still think he's quite crap. He's had a couple of good games, but overall, I think he's quite a crap player. I won't change that. That needs to be changed in my mind for a long period of time. He could have another great game next week, and I will still turn around and say to you, I don't think he's very good.
Yeah.
Because I don't do the short termism. That's not how I'm built. So when I look at Levy, it's not even just about this window. This is just the latest of a long list. I'm telling you now, there is nothing Daniel Levy could have done this window to make me Levy in. Do you want to know what would have made me Levy in?
What?
If he fell on his sword, which he'll never do.
Well, look, I agree with that. I agree with that, but also in a way, Tequila, I think people used the Newcastle option with Mike Ashley, right? Mike Ashley sold Newcastle for 300 million. This is the first club that's worth 3.4 billion or something like that. So it's completely different. Do you look at the Edwards families at Manchester United, and I said this today, any owners that are in over 20 years at a club, they are going to make mistakes. They are going to cock things up. The fan base are going to turn at them at some point. Do you feel that with Paratici back in, and when Paratici was in the last time, that Levy looked more to the business and he left the football side to Paratici? If Levy was just there for business only, and we brought in a new chairman to work with Paratici on the football side, would that sort of make you a little bit more, a bit happier that he may be at the club, but it's got nothing to do with the football side. He's just concentrating on business opportunities, making more money into the club on the revenue side of it. Do you think, would you be happy with that, or do you just want him gone completely?
I think I just want him gone. There'd have to be some kind of legal precedent he signed to make me believe for a start that he would keep his nose out of it, because you heard the overlap. Gary Neville, he says he claims he doesn't, and come on, we all know better. Even the Levy in people, I think, will probably look at that and say, come on, Daniel, we kind of know that's not true. We know you get involved. We know you get involved with the negotiations, mate. Don't claim that you don't. Yes, you do. So I think, look, is he the worst chairman that ever existed? No. But I personally, as I've only known Enoch and Levy, unfortunately for me, that is my reality. I'm tired of him.
Yeah, I get that.
And I'm tired of how he runs, how he decides to run his football business. Has he run us into the ground? No, he hasn't run us into the ground. But I don't agree with how he runs. I personally don't agree with how he runs the club. I don't like how he treats the fans. Right? That's by itself. I don't like the fact that he seems to lie to us. And the people will say he does lie. Right away, I can think, I always think of the stadium and that bullshit. That bullshit he gave us. Right, and it ended up being complete hogwash because we haven't been challenging, not at all. No. If anything, we've fallen down further than when we were at White Hart Lane.
I've always said that, haven't I? Give me a good team, and give us a good team at White Hart. Give us a title challenging team at White Hart Lane, and give me White Hart Lane instead of the stadium we've got now, which is a fine, magnificent stadium. Yes, it is. But what we went through, I agree. I know. See, with me and Philip, where you've only known Levy, me and Philip have known a couple of ownerships through in the past. And yes, Scholar was the worst. I think he is the worst. He nearly shut us down for good. Yes, he did, and I've always will stand by that. I think Levy's probably second. I think Sugar is third. I mean, one thing about Sugar, I would say, Tequila, I don't know if you would agree with me, that at least he put his money where his mouth was. I mean, the year that we got banned from the FA Cup, we got 12 points deducted because of irregular payments that the previous ownership made to players. He went out and got Klinsmann, Demirgescu, and Popescu in '94. And it was it was a bit like, Philip, when Ozzy and Ricky came to Tottenham in the 70s. Well, fuck me, Jurgen Klinsmann's come to Spurs. Like, wow. Do you look back on them previous owners? Do you think? Do you know what? If you look at Scholar and the way he nearly bankrupt us, do you look back and think, okay, financially we're sound, but you could have done a hell of a lot more on the footballing side, like not sacking Yell at half time or sacking Mourinho 6 days before cup final, or not backing Poch for 3 windows. Do you know there is lists of mistakes he's made, hasn't he?
I just don't think he really takes accountability, and maybe I expect too much. Maybe I expect too much that he's going to come out and take accountability for the failures. He won't, but then he won't. But then I have to I'm trying to be as balanced as I can. But does any chairman?
Not really. I don't think
Not
any
really.
chairman does, do they?
There's not many who will fall on their sword as I've described it to you.
Yeah.
Most of them don't. And it's just maybe I think I'm fed up of the same face. I'm fed up of it's the same ideas, and I just think it's enough. I thought it was enough 10 years ago, Dermo. I thought it was enough. The fact that we're now nearly closer to 2030 than we are 2020 now, it's it'll probably still be here in 2030.
Yeah, probably will. What would, like, if you look at right, let's look at the good things, right? Let's try to balance this argument out, right, or this debate out, right, and look at the good points. What would you say is Levy's biggest success at Spurs?
Keeping the club afloat by generating quote unquote legit revenue streams.
Yeah.
I use the term legit loosely. For example, we haven't got a sugar daddy. We haven't got a state that's backing us. And I can respect that to a certain degree. You know what it's a bit like? This is going to be a weird analogy, but I'll make it anyway. In places like the UFC, stuff like that, I can't remember what the guy's name is. There was somebody, it might have been John Jones or someone, who got done for performance hunting drugs. And one of the reasons I think he said is because everyone does it. Everyone does it.
Yeah, I get your point. Actually.
So it gets to the point now where it's like, if that's the norm, and if that's the only way to get success, then it becomes at a certain point. I think it's kind of like, okay, so when's it our turn? We've sat back, Dermo. We've watched United have their dominance. Then we watched Chelsea have their dominance. Arsenal a little bit under Wenger. They had their years as well. And then Chelsea have come in and they've changed the game. We know that Jack Walker did it first, right? Blackburn did it first, technically. But then Chelsea dominated, and now it's City's turn, and now Liverpool are the only ones to break the cartel. I know Leicester did, but let's call it what it was. It was a
freaky season, wasn't it?
It was a freaky season. Yeah. And all credit to Leicester. They deserved it. I take nothing away from them. They and their fans will remember that till their dying day. But overall, it is dominant. Overall, it is the people who tend to spend the most money tend to win the league. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And Levy is never going to do that. So for me, it's almost like we have to resign ourselves that we will never really be able to compete for the title. And if people are okay with that and they only want to be a cup team, because this is what I keep hearing, we're a cup team. And that's fine. If people are okay with just being that and they have no bigger aspirations, then by all means, keep it as it is. And we'll win the occasional cup, maybe one a year, one every decade or so, if we're lucky. And if people are okay with that and they want nothing more, then keep the status quo as it is. But I dare to dream to want more.
Yeah, no, I think we all do. I think we all look.
And you're never going to get it from Enoch.
Look, I sort of look at it this way, right? And I will get to the chat. I look at it this way: that if you look at the likes of Man City, who have broke rules and got away with it, you look at Chelsea, who have broke rules and got away with it. If you look at other clubs who have broke the rules. I mean, we still got this thing over Man City, 100-something odd charges against them. Chelsea this summer selling their women's side to themselves, basically, to get out of PSR problems. You look at other clubs, and I think we've done it the right way. We've tried to do it the honest way, but I don't think it's helped us in gaining what we want to achieve, where we want to be. as a football club, as you said, dare to dream. I think when we got to the Champions League final, how great a run that was. I think we were lucky to get there. I think we were lucky against Man City. We were lucky against a very good Ajax side as well, by the way. And then when we got to the final, we had a manager who picked half-fit Harry Kane instead of sticking with the person who got us there. But if you look back through them seasons under Pochettino, where we could have won the league against Leicester, we should have backed him in January with players to help him get that team over the line. We had so many opportunities. And I feel under Thomas Frank, with the players we have brought in, I think, yes, we have always been a club team, Tequila. We've always been a cup team. If you look to history from 1950 to 2008, we only won the league twice. Every other cup we won were cup competitions. So Tottenham have always had this reputation of being a cup team. We've never found the consistency of the 60-61 side of playing the push and run type of football. We may have had odd seasons where we found consistency to challenge for the league. But 9 times out of 10, we've always been a cup side. Tottenham has always been a team that's got to the final. And I feel with the players we've got now, and I think if we had a different owner who went out and probably backed Pochettino, I think we would have won a league under Pochettino. And I feel that Thomas Frank's been brought in, and we've bought some decent players. I think Kudos is a good signing. I think Simons he will be a good signing. He will prove to be a good signing. I mean, I just want to get to the chat and see what people think. I think you've made some very good points tonight, Tequila, actually, on this. And do you know what? I just want to say how refreshing it is that you can have a normal debate on this, can't you?
That's not true, Dermo. I'm a Levy out, so I'm a negative. Can I say it? No, it's not 9. B.
No.
Dermo,
Yeah.
you know that.
I've never called you that, by the way. And nobody in the chat and this channel has ever called you that. We've always, you know, you've had your opinion. And I always state back to last year, even with the previous manager, you had every right to come on in any show. I told you so, but you didn't, because you have respect for other people and you have respect for this channel. And it's very far and few between that you can have a debate on something without it turning nasty. And we've proved it time and time again that we can do it on here. And this is the way to do it, because you've got to listen to what other people are saying. You've got to accept their way. That's their way of thinking. You can't just have your agenda and push it onto somebody else. There's got to be compromise. And I do, if I'm being honest, I am probably Levy out like you, but I see it slightly different. But we compromise when we do talk about this situation and when we do talk about the ownership of the club. And I think that's and I think it's healthy as well, Tequila. I think it's a very healthy way of debating. I don't know if you would agree, but I think it is. In my view.
I just think, and I might upset some people with this, but you know, I'm not saying it to upset people. It's just my view. I just think that by you saying we're a cup team, that's what the history's been, and I can't deny what history has been. If history is history. It's not like I can deny it. I can't. But when I sit here in my 25 years of Spurs fandom, which isn't as long as some people, but it's longer than others, and I see every other team in the quote unquote top 6 have their turn, as I would phrase it.
It gets frustrating.
They've all had their turn. So my question is, when's it our turn?
No, I understand that. I think you're spot on with that. I really do. I think you're right to ask that.
That's why I dream for more, because I've seen Chelsea do it. Have they done it with the quote unquote right way? We already know they didn't. Have City done it the quote unquote the right way? We already know they didn't. Arsenal, yes, they haven't quite done it. They're not miles away. One year they will. Might be not this year, but unless they fall off and they stop doing what they're doing, and I mean overall, their overall transfer, how they are running the club overall, it could be that all they need is a better manager than Arteta, and that he is holding them back. Could be as simple as that. But one year they'll pull it off, and then they'll have another moment in the sun. Liverpool, who I respect the hell out of Liverpool because they are not state funded. Yes, they are the biggest club probably in the world, alongside maybe Madrid and Man United, and their pulling power will always be higher than Spurs. That is the way it is. I accept that and understand it. But don't sit here and tell me that Liverpool have done the same kind of things that Chelsea and City did. They sold a player in Coutinho a couple of years back, 5 years ago, how long it was, and they used that money so well. Yeah. They started a juggernaut under Klopp. They started a juggernaut.
2 players. Didn't buy only 2 players out of that? Coutinho and not Coutinho. Edison and not Edison.
I can't remember who they
and Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, yeah. But that is a club that has proven that even with the City and the Chelsea's monies, and of course Liverpool, like I say, yes, they have a pool that most clubs can't match. If Liverpool are in for a player, they rarely lose out on that player.
Yeah, because of their reputation,
because of who they are, and that is an advantage that they do have over, for example, us. But don't tell me that you can't win the league if you spend a lot of money, but not crazy money, because I believe. As Arsenal have spent a lot of money, but they haven't spent City and Chelsea money in their heyday. They've spent a lot, but not quite that level. So don't tell me the Spurs can't. Spurs can, but they won't. In my opinion.
Yeah, I know. Do you agree with Philip's comment here? He says, I appreciate the good things Levy has done for the club, and there are a lot, but the failings, the lack of backing managers, and the toxic relationship with a lot of the fans, we need a new direction. Do you sort of agree with that?
Yeah, I can't say he hasn't done good stuff for the club. I don't agree. I don't agree with how he runs the football club because he doesn't put football first.
Yeah.
And I've never said he's the worst chairman in the world. I've never said, he hasn't bankrupted us. We have not been relegated. We gave it a close one last year, but we've not been. We gave it a good go. But we've never been relegated. We're not going to get relegated this year. We've already got probably half the points we probably got this season or last season already. In 2 games,
3-3 by tomorrow night.
Exactly, and that'll be a bloody third of the points total, or a quarter of the points total we got the whole season last year. So we're not going to get
relegated in a row.
Exactly, so we're not going to get relegated, right? No. But it's just, I just want more. And as a fan of 25 years, who's had to sit and watch all the others in the tops, this so-called quote unquote top 6, which we are meant to be a part of, right?
Yeah.
We're the only ones to not have that moment. And it sucks, and I want it, and I'm running out of time, with all due respect. I haven't got ages and ages longer to wait. So if I'm a bit more pushy than some people, maybe that plays a part into it. Yeah. And I don't believe that Lever will ever bring us real glory. The best we can hope for is a League Cup and, a Euro, in my opinion, a poor Europa League, but a win nonetheless. That's the best we can hope for. And I just want more, Dermo. Yeah, I'm not entitled. I'm not saying, I deserve. No, but I'm saying that I've seen Liverpool do it. There's a comment in the chat here, is it Lou, who says we're up against government in City. Hans, who won last year? Liverpool. They're not run by government.
No.
So what's that got to do with anything? Is City a monumental obstacle to get over? Yes, but Liverpool did it.
I think Man City are going to struggle this year, Tequila, personally.
But then isn't that more reason for us to be going for it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I agree with Philip at the end bit. He says we need a new direction. And he does back that up as well, Tequila, with new owners with the capital to invest in the team, not a hotel. Well, yeah, I agree with that.
100%, yeah.
Big up to Rick Harris, Philip. I agree.
And also, Dermot, sorry, is it about... Yeah, and this is also true what Gerard says. Yeah. And that is also a big difference here as well.
Sorry. Is that it there?
The salaries. No, he's talking about the salaries. Liverpool pay the salaries. Yes, and that is the difference. But so then, Gerard, who determines the salaries? Do you tell me who determines the salaries?
Levy does. Levy does.
Then. What's the issue then?
So look, we bought this new player today, and he's on probably 200 grand a week. So has his I'm very, because I needed to finish then because I'm going on Man United agenda. So Look, we'll get this in. Me and Tequila will do a proper probably debating this after the window actually, because it will be an interesting one. Tequila, look, out of all the players that we have bought in, these are the players we bought in. Simons and of course Tell and Danso were sort of more last year, but Kudos, Palunia, and Taki. If you just look at Simons, Kudos, and Palunia, have we ever bought 3 players like that in a summer window before, where they're first team players and they've gone in? Is that because Paratici is now back? And do you think this has proven that Lang was not good at his job?
I think that plays a role, but you are right. And like I say, I'll be as fair as I can. It isn't normal for Spurs to buy 2 £50 million plus players. And if that is going to be a change in strategy in the long term, when I say long term, is you need to give it more than one window. We need to see what we do we need to see what the investment is in January. Probably it won't be 100 million. We never do that. But then we need to see what happens next season to see if this trend continues. If next season we go ahead and buy another 2 or 3 players all around about the £50 or £60 mark, then that will indicate to me that there has been a change somewhere in the hierarchy regarding the transfer policy itself. Yeah. Because what we've done for so many years is this scattergun approach.
Yeah,
of these younger players. No, because more often than not they don't make it to the first team. A lot of them. Look at Dragusin, isn't it? Look, he ain't good. He's not.
No, he's not.
He's not going to make it, is he?
Did we get lucky with Bergville? Do you think? Did we get lucky with Bergville?
I think Bergville's got much more of a higher ceiling than Gray. And the worrying thing is, and it's not the Gray's fault he got this price tag on him. The worrying thing is Gray's the one we spent 40 million on. That worries me greatly.
How much did we buy Bergville for?
Was it about 10 million?
10 million? Yeah. That's a steal, isn't it, really? And he is a good player. He really is. He's you watch him and you look him on the pitch and you think, do you know what? He really came of age, I think, because of last season and what he did, and because he was forced to play. Look, we got Bournemouth tomorrow, Tequila. Do you think Spurs can go 3-3 tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, with all due respect to Bournemouth, we're at home. Yeah. Frank generally has got his act together, and we have no injuries at the minute. And also, more importantly, the Champions League hasn't started. Yeah. Our form is going to drop off most likely when the Champions League started, because the squad just isn't there, Dermo. In my opinion.
No, I agree. I think that's a fair comment. Talking about the Champions League, this is our group of games we've got to play. You've gone for 12 points, actually, haven't you?
12 and at max. I'm floating between the 12 and 14, but no more.
Okay.
It depends if we turn like a win into a draw or a draw into a win. So it's between 12 and 14 for me. Yeah.
Right. Go through that and give us your predictions for each game. So,
I think home to we're away to PSG, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think
so. We're home to Dortmund.
Let me bring. Sorry, it's my eyesight. Let me bring the screen a bit bigger.
Do you want me to read them out for you?
No, I can. I've moved the screen. Okay. I think Dortmund will beat us. I rate Dortmund quite highly. I think they're a very good team. I really do like Dortmund. I love the way their club's run. By the way, boy do I wish. Boy do I wish we did that. Yeah. I think Dortmund will have too much for us. I think we'll lose to Dortmund. I think we'll lose to PSG. I think we could win against Villarreal. I think Slavia Prague, I think we'll win that. Again, we should beat them because, let's be honest, we beat them in the Europa League and they weren't, to be fair, they weren't, that much cop, were they? Copenhagen at home, we will probably win that as well. Frankfurt is a tough one.
We did win there last season.
We did, yes. But I think
they've lost their best player as well, Frankfurt. That's why I'm thinking that we might get a win.
I can see that being a draw. I think for me that's a draw.
That's a fair point. And then Monaco away, the return of the Dyer.
I think that could be a draw as well. So this is what I mean by I don't see us losing tons. I'm just not convinced we're going to win all of them. So
are you going for? Are you going for a playoff place then?
It all depends if you think like let's say I said between like 12 and 14 points. I'll be optimistic. There you go. Say we get 14 points. Do you think 14 points gets us into the playoff? It's that simple.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with. I think we'll get a draw against Dortmund. I do agree with you. Dortmund are good, and I also do agree with the way they ran. By the way, I know Jude Bellingham's dad had a bit of a fisticuffs.
Yeah.
Which I think we'll have a talk about that over the
too
weekend.
Too much alcohol, probably.
Too much alcohol, yeah. Paris Saint-Germain. Do you know what? My head says we'll lose, but my heart says we might beat them because of what we did with them in the Super Cup. But they are probably one of the best teams in Europe right now. So I think I'm going between the draw or defeat. I'll go for I think we'll lose against them. Definitely playing in Paris. I think we will beat Villarreal. I think we'll get a draw.
Villarreal are a decent team, though. They're not going to be no pushovers.
Just every time I see them, I want to get out my Beatles album and listen to the Yellow Submarine. I don't know why.
They are quite a quirky club. And remember, they've had pretty good under Emery, wasn't it? They got to the semi-finals a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So I've got 3. I'm gonna go for 6. I'm gonna go for 7 with a draw with Frankfurt. 7, 8, 9, 10 against Xavier Park. 10, 13 against Bodo. 16 against Copenhagen, and then I think I'm going to go for 17 points or draw away to Monaco. So I'm going 17 points. I think that's 17 points. I forgot that right. Yeah, I think the maths are right.
Yeah. So it just depends if that total. I said I don't know. My optimistic view is 14, but I could easily see us getting like 11 or 12 as well. It's going to be within that bracket. If we get less than that, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, it's all about winning your home games and just gaining points away from home. But I like the new Champions League, by the way. I think it's a lot more better, and I think it's a lot more enjoyable. But look, it's going to be interesting. Guys, that is it. I know it's a short one. I do apologize, but I am going over to the Manchester United agenda. So do join me over there. If you do, put THFC raid, and then I know it's you come from here. Tequila, thank you for coming on. I know you're not well at the moment, so I really appreciate you giving your views. And can I just say that, look, I respect your views, by the way, and I respect the way you come across as you're a very respectable to people in the chat and my views, and you have your argument, but you do it in the right way. And can I give you credit for that? And can I give you a little bit of a pat on the back, because you do it the right way, and I wish more people were like you, how you come across with your argument. So I think people in the chat should give Tequila a lot of credit for that, and I think it's the right way, and you do it the right way, man. And look, I respect you for it. So I just wanted to say that. So there you go.
Cheers, there, mate. It's fine, mate. It's honestly. We all know what online. We all know what online can be like. We all have our. Stories with online stuff. I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat had somebody rag on them at some point. So
yeah, the 10 is in the post, by the way. I've just posted it there to you.
Cheers, mate.
Where can people find you apart from this brilliant channel which you, me, and James run, and we're going to make this the best Irish channel in the world? Where else can people find you?
I've also got a gaming channel called the Play Pouch, which is just a bunch of middle-aged and crazies, and Com, who's the longer this goes on, the less I'm going to say that Com's the young one, because he ain't young, are you, Com? So
don't mention Grimsby.
He's on holiday now, so he'll be drunk for the next 7 days. He won't be thinking about Grimsby, bless him. So so if you guys like your video games and you like to hear some older, more mature veteran, there you go. I'll be respectful veteran gamers. There you go.
Veteran gamers.
That's nice and respectful. Then please join me on the Play Pouch. I think the next game one of us is going to play won't be me. I'm a bit too ill at the minute. Will be Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake. If any of you remember that, there's a remake that's just come out, and I think one of our members, Alan, is going to be doing that over the weekend.
I'm going to watch that. Guys, it is. Guys, we're back tomorrow, of course, with the match day stuff. We're on Sunday with post match, and of course on Monday we're going for Deadline Day Mania. 9 to half 9 in the morning with James with Good Morning Deadline Day Mania. 12 to half 12 for lunchtime Deadline Day Mania, and then from 2 to 8 We're going to give you all the very latest on deadline day. And then from 10 to 11, I'll be on with Luke as the window in Europe closes as well. So join us then. Right, I'm late for the agenda. I have to go. Big up to every going. Come over there. Put in THFC Raid. And I'll see you there in 5 Tequila. A pleasure once again, man. Thank you so much. Do you want to take us out?
It's just who we are, mate.
Good night.
Eyes on the prize, victory in sight with all our might, with all our might, with all our might.
Right.